أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Adhan was calling for a Muslim to pray. Islam is the second largest religion in the world after Christianity, with about 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide. Although its roots go back further, scholars typically date the creation of Islam to the 7th century, making it the youngest of the major world religions. Islam started in Mecca in modern-day Saudi Arabia during the time of the Prophet Muhammad's life. Today, the faith is spread rapidly throughout the world. What is the original meaning of Islam? In Arabic, Islam, submission to God, is the verbal noun of form the fourth originating from the verb salama, from the triliteral root sin lam mim, which forms a large class of words mostly relating to concept of submission, safeness, and peace. The word Islam means submission to the will of God. Followers of Islam are called Muslims. Muslims are monotheistic and worship one all-knowing God, who in Arabic is known as Allah. Followers of Islam aim to live a life of complete submission to Allah. They believe that nothing can happen without Allah's permission, but humans have free will. Islam teaches that Allah's word was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad through the angel Gabriel. Muslims believe several prophets were sent to teach Allah's law. They respect some of the same prophet as Jews and Christians, including Abraham, Moses, Noah, and Jesus. Muslims contend that Muhammad was the final prophet. Mosques are places where Muslims worship. Some important Islamic holy places include the Kaaba Shrine in Mecca, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, and the Prophet Muhammad's Mosque in Medina. The Quran is the major holy text of Islam. The Hadith is another important book. Muslims also revere some material found in the Judeo-Christian Bible. Followers worship Allah by praying and reciting the Quran. They believe there will be a day of judgment and life after death. A central idea in Islam is jihad, which means struggle. While the term has been used negatively in mainstream culture, Muslims believe it refers to internal and external efforts to defend their faith, although rare. This can include military jihad if a just war is needed. Prophet Muhammad, sometimes spelled Muhammad or Muhammad, was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia in AD 570. Muslims believe he was the final prophet sent by God to reveal their faith to mankind. According to Islamic texts and tradition, an angel named Gabriel visited Muhammad in 610 while he was meditating in a cave. The angel ordered Muhammad to recite the words of Allah. Muslims believe that Muhammad continued to receive revelations from Allah throughout the rest of his life. In about 613, Muhammad began preaching throughout Mecca the messages he received. He taught that there was no other God but Allah and that Muslims should devote their lives to this God. In 622, Muhammad traveled from Mecca to Medina with his supporters. This journey became known as the Hijrah, also spelled Hijra or Hijra, and marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. Some 7 years later, Muhammad and his many followers returned to Mecca and conquered the region. He continued to preach until his death in 632. After Muhammad's passing, Islam began to spread rapidly. A series of leaders, known as caliphs, became successor to Muhammad. This system of leadership, which was run by a Muslim ruler, became known as a caliphate. The first caliph was Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law and close friend. Abu Bakr died about 2 years after he was elected and was succeeded in 634 by Caliph Umar, another father-in-law of Muhammad. When Umar was assassinated 6 years after being named Caliph, Uthman, Muhammad's son-in-law, took the rule. Uthman was also killed, and Ali, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, was elected as the next Caliph. During the reign of the first four caliphs, Arab Muslims conquered large regions of the Middle East, including Syria, Palestine, Iran, and Iraq. Islam also spread throughout areas in Europe, Africa, and Asia. The Caliphate system lasted for centuries and eventually evolved into the Ottoman Empire, which controlled large regions in the Middle East from about 1517 until 1917, when World War I ended the Ottoman reign. Muslims follow five basic pillars that are essential to their faith. These include Shahada, to declare one's faith in God and belief in Muhammad; Salah, to pray 5 times a day, at dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and evening; Zakat, to give those in need; Saum, to fast during Ramadan; Hajj, to make a pilgrimage to Mecca at least once during a person's lifetime if the person is able. The Quran, sometimes spelled Quran or Quran, is considered the most important holy book among Muslims. It contains some basic information that is found in the Hebrew Bible as well as revelation that were given to Muhammad. The text is considered the sacred word of God and supersedes any previous writings. Most Muslims believe that Muhammad's scribes wrote down his words, which became the Quran. Muhammad himself was never taught to read or write. The book is written with Allah as the first person, spoken through Gabriel to Muhammad. It contains 114 chapters, which are also called surahs. Scholars believe the Quran was compiled shortly after Muhammad's death, under the guidance of Caliph Abu Bakr. When Muhammad died, there was debate over who should replace him as leader. This led to a schism in Islam, and two major sects emerged: the Sunnis and the Shiites. Sunnis make up nearly 90% of Muslims worldwide. They accept that the first four caliphs were the true successors to Muhammad. The term Sunni comes from the Arabic word al-Sunnah wa al-Jama'ah, which means people of the tradition and community. Sunni Muslims believe in the teachings and practices of Prophet Muhammad as recorded in the Quran and Hadith. The core beliefs of Sunni Islam include monotheism, belief in angels, prophets, and divine revelation. They also believe in the Day of Judgment and accountability of one's actions. Sunni Muslims follow five pillars: Shahada, declaration of faith; Salah, prayer; Zakat, charity; Saum, fasting during Ramadan; and Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca. Sunni Islam has a hierarchical structure with scholars known as ulama providing guidance on religious matters. The Caliphate system was established after Prophet Muhammad's death to lead the Muslim community, but it was abolished after World War I. Sunni Islam has faced challenges throughout history, including sectarian conflicts with Shia Muslims and political instability. However, it remains a vibrant and influential force within Islamic culture and society today. Shiite Muslims believe that only the Caliph Ali and his descendants are the real successors to Muhammad. They deny the legitimacy of the first three caliphs. Today, Shiite Muslims have a considerable presence in Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Other, smaller Muslim denominations within the Sunni and Shiite group exist. Some of these include Wahhabi. This Sunni sect, made up of members of the Tamim tribe in Saudi Arabia, was founded in the 18th century. Followers observe an extremely strict interpretation of Islam that was taught by Muhammad bin Abdul al-Wahhab. Alawite. This Shiite Alawite. This Shiite form of Islam is prevalent in Syria. Followers hold similar beliefs after the Caliph Ali but also observe some Christian and Zoroastrian holidays. Nation of Islam. The mostly African American Sunni sect was founded in the 1930s in Detroit, Michigan. Kharijites. The sect broke from the Shiites after disagreeing. Kharijites. This sect broke from the Shiites after disagreeing over how to select a new leader. They are known for radical fundamentalism and today are called Ibadis. In recent years, Islam's supposed association with terrorism and mass murder has sparked a political debate in many countries. The controversial term radical Islam has become a well-known label to describe the religion's connection to acts of violence. Recent surveys have found that in countries with high Muslim populations, the majority of Muslims have overwhelmingly negative views of terrorist groups like ISIS. While Muslims aim to clear up misconceptions about their faith, the religion continues to spread rapidly. Today, Islam is the world's fastest growing religion. Experts predict Islam will surpass Christianity as the largest religion by the end of the century.